Hello everybody, Steve here, and don't really need to zoom in too much for you guys to tell what I have for you guys today. So obviously I have some very big padlocks to show off, and the reason I have these out here today is because this one might be recognizable to a few people and probably a nightmare for a few people, because this is another Master Lock number 19 that J Gabriel sent to me. He also sent me a bunch more stickers. Awesome. Anyway, he sent me another Master 19 to take apart, because this Master number 19 is one that he is sent to a lot of people, and a lot of people have picked it. I think it's gone to Europe and also here in the U.S. to a lot of people, and there's been a lot of people that have been picking this particular Master Lock number 19. And he, since I turned two other Master Lock number 19s into cutaways for him, he wanted me to also make a cutaway out of this one as well, so he sent it to me so that I can open it up. So I have opened it up. I basically just separated this just enough to get the core out, and then with the core, see the red bumper that it's broken off. Anyway, yes, this is the red bumpered one that everybody's been famous for, is worked on. But anyway, so obviously there's the key for this guy. We can zoom in a little bit, like we don't really need to too much, but so that's the key for it. Nasty bitting and stuff, and has definitely been worn out. And even if we look at the front of that core, you can see all kinds of scratches and everything like that where people have been picking on it. So obviously this has been well liked by a lot of members of the liked or hated by a lot of other members of the community. So I have taken this core out, but as most of you might know or remember from my other videos of taking these apart, is that these have a crimped core, so I usually have to make a slight cut with my Dremel to remove that bit that's been crimped, because they have a crimped part on both sides of the core. So I have to get the key in, turn it, and then use the Dremel to kind of cut away a little bit of it. But then after I did that, then I have taken it apart myself, because then I sanded the back off so that I could put this little clip on here. So obviously this clip isn't going to work in the lock after I get it all together, so I did modify another one, little spring clip, so I could put it in there later on when I when I finish making this into a cutaway. So what we are going to do today is we are going to take this core apart so that we can see what's inside, because this particular lock has been the subject of a lot of controversy. People have talked to Jay about this lock, and even though the other two 19s I've taken apart, I've shown them, and they have been those barrel type pins, or for the driver pins, this one has been a lot of argument by people saying that they swear that this is different inside, and it has serrated pins and stuff. And so we are going to take this apart, and you guys are going to see what is inside here. So this will answer a lot of questions for everybody, and thank you to Jay for letting me take this guy apart so I can get a better look into this guy. And of course, another thing is those other two Master Lock 19s I've taken apart have been the exact same driver pins, and I did have my own Master Lock 19 that Jay sent to me and gave me. So this is my own, and I have also taken this apart. I actually haven't taken this part apart because I haven't even drove out the pins yet. All I've done is taken the plate out and taken the lock apart. And as you can see, we can take a good look at this, and you can see that these three. Well, let's zoom in again. Maybe. Oh, stupid focus. I was hoping we can see a little bit better. Okay, there we go. There's the focus going. So these three first pins are the original driver pins, and they are also the same kind of barrel pin as the other ones. And due to me hurrying and not doing very well, I've actually lost a couple other original driver pins, so I've made a couple pins. These two on the end are very similar to those original barrel pins, and then I've also made a bunch of standard type pins that fit in this 19 so that I could play around and with the idea of thinking that maybe I can make a simpler master lock. But in the process of taking this lock apart and then sitting there going through and repinning it and doing all kinds of stuff, I ended up losing a couple of those driver pins, which isn't very fun, but you know, it's my own lock, my own fault. That's the way it goes. So anyway, so I do have my own. That is my own 19. So this one is the one that Jay gave. So without further ado, let's take this apart. And by the way, I also do have my own 19 that is totally untouched, that I'm going to keep that way. I ended up finding one on eBay and buying it because I couldn't deal without having one that was untouched. So anyway, so if anybody's interested in getting a 19, you probably only get them on eBay. And usually they're around $100 or so, which I think is a little too expensive, but that's the way things go. So without further ado, let us take this 19 apart, and we can see what all the hubbub is about this particular 19, and we can take a look at it together. So let me get my other pinning tray out here so we can get this thing apart. And then after that, then we'll take the rest of this apart and we'll see what's in, you know, take a better look at the insides of that guy. So of course we need to get this guy shimmed, because it's not a very smart idea to try and take this lock apart without having a shim in there, because obviously you can tell with the little lip there that it doesn't behave properly. And trust me, I know. And this isn't a very easy lock to shim because it's very, very tight tolerances. But we'll get it. Okay, I think we have it good enough. Get my little follower in here. Follower. Even the follower is a little, this is the biggest follower I have, and it's a little small for this particular lock. So obviously we have the key pins. So let's pull those out. Starting in 1, 2, that's not 2, 3, that is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 4, 5, 4, 5. There we go. Let's get those turned around really quick. So the debate with this one is, let's see, right? Yeah. One other thing I've noticed with all the 19s that I've played around with is the bidding tends to be pretty nasty. I guess it's not funny. I'm kind of serious. I'm ruining my shim. Dang it. Oh well. Alright, so I'm starting on this end. This is pin number 1. Hopefully we can see. We'll get it up closer as soon as we get this out. There's number 1. And there's the spring. Number 2. And the spring. So technically this is the 4th master lock number 19 that I have taken apart. And there's somebody else that wants me to do another cutaway for him too, so maybe in the future we'll be able to see another one. Or 2 or 3. Number 6. The spring. Number 5. And the spring. So from right off I can tell you all the springs look exactly the same. And they don't appear to be damaged or anything. They look all okay. Okay, there we go. Put that back over there. So we have the core, or the Bible. Let's get zoomed in here, and obviously we can see that Bible all looks the same. Doesn't look like anything's different. And you can definitely tell that it's been well used. So the only difference between this and the original is that this part has been shaved off a little bit in order to fit the clip on there and get it apart. Here is the core. Of course, always have to mess with the focus, don't we? Okay, well, at least it's focused, and you can tell that the core is nothing abnormal about that. It all looks completely standard. There's no counter milling, no nothing. It's all standard. And there's the back of the keyway. There's the keyway. Okay. Now let's take a look at the driver pins. And as we can see, all those driver pins are exactly the same as the other 3 master lock number 19s that I have taken apart. The driver pins look exactly the same. The only difference that I've seen is some of them have had with the key pins, they've been colored, but they all look the same. We get a closer look at them, and I'll bring up a picture, a really good close-up picture that I took for if you haven't seen it, there's a video that Isaac Hashman or Midnight Philosopher did. And he did a really good job of picking these 19s and explaining it and stuff. And he did get in contact with me, and I got him a really good picture of a close-up video, picture of one of these other driver pins that I have for my lock. And so I'll bring that picture of that driver pin up, and then I will also bring up a picture of the first 19 that I opened up, and so you can see the driver pins on that. So I'll bring that up as well. Okay, so here we are back to this. Okay, so in my mind, there's really not too much to argue about. How, I mean, there has been times when these have felt different, where it feels like there's a serration or anything. So let's take a closer look at some of the other things that I've noticed. How you've noticed how well, like with mine, let me bring mine up. You notice how my pin number 6 and 4 are really short. 6 is really short key pin. And I go all the way up to a really long key pin, and you can see how the keys on the cut, one of them is really deep and one of them is not. So it's almost like I have a 1 and 2 and 3, and so that's pretty good for the bitting on this. And so let's take a closer look at the other one. And the key pins, they're short as well. And so the other thing that I found out with these is that when we take a closer look at this, I got mine. Okay, I gotta put them in right. So when I drop these key pins in, yeah, see, this one's colored for some reason. So when I drop these key pins in, and you notice how the short ones just go way down inside that core, and the longer ones, of course, are closer to the shear line. But you can see how drastic those are. See how deep that one goes in at number 6? So that begs the question, what happens when we drop these driver pins? I'll drop in the originals, not my homemade driver pins. So these first 3 are the originals. So here we have them in there, and you can see how on the longer key pins, ones that you don't have to push up too much. No, where'd that go? Did you guys see where that went? Oh, there it is. I wanted to go visit the other lock. Oh, I swear this lock is cursed. I keep losing everything. But you can see how far up those driver pins are, so obviously it doesn't take much to push it, and as soon as you get it to a certain point, then there we go. As soon as you get it to the shear line, then you'll see that drop into that famous T-pin type edge on that end of that barrel pin. Stupid focus. I'm going to be cursing the focus on this video, aren't I? Everybody is. Anyway, so you can kind of see how that just drops. As soon as you pick up to that shear line, that's going to drop in there. So let's move these driver pins to the next 3 spots. So there's 1, 2, and voila. Okay, so obviously you can tell that that one that is a super low cut is below the shear line, and this other one that there, it's close to the shear line, but it still would cause you a headache where you need to pick it in order to go. But this one that means that that spring is sitting inside there, and obviously when you try to pick that, if you don't push it up or don't touch it, that spring might give you issues. You might ruin the lock or anything like that, which would be a real big shame. So that is one of the questions that Isaac was asking me, and Jay and everybody else, was, do these fall below the shear line? And yes, they do, and that means that the spring can get in there and get caught. I do, however, know that, I don't know how many times the lock that I own, had been picked. But when we take a look at the other one, so let's drop the key pins in here and do the same thing. Am I putting it in right? I think I am. Maybe I got it backwards. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We'll get it figured out. Well, I think I got it right. So we can see how on this one, you can see how deep some of those are. So you got the short key pins in there that are very deep. They don't need too much picking. Yeah, I got it right. There's the key. So obviously you can tell how those one chambers that have the really short key pins will go really far down in there. So let's take a look and drop the driver pins in here. So I have not done this with this lock, so we'll see what happens. Oh, look at that. Already you can see one below the shear line. This video is getting really long. Sorry about that, guys, but I think this is a lot of good information. I didn't even realize it was getting that long. 20 minutes or more than that. Wow. Sorry, guys. Thank you for sticking around. Okay, so we can definitely see how this famous lock that has been picked on several times, you can see that some of those driver pins barely need to be touched, and some of them obviously had right on the shear line, and if you didn't know that, you would have to really pick that up. And that's one thing that could feel like this. I know the lock that I own seems like that one goes in deeper than this one, but you can obviously tell how, if you're not careful, the spring can get caught, and that would not be very good for the lock. And obviously when you pick it, you can feel that first bit of the barrel, and then you'll go through the main part, and then you'll hit the last part of it, so it could feel like a serration. And that's probably why people are a little confused about it, or kind of not understanding exactly what they're feeling. But you are feeling the shear line hit that first part, and then raise up, and then hit the second part on these other ones that are really deep. And just trying to be careful because I don't want to ruin this, do anything bad. And if we look at the springs, they actually don't look that bad. They look okay. I don't see really any damage to them, so obviously that hasn't been a problem, but it is potential, especially with the lock that I have in comparison. See, let's see. Bring up both of these. Okay, come on, focus. I swear I'm gonna... The curse of today's video is focusing. Okay, so you can see how mine seems like it goes in deeper on that very last chamber. So obviously that could be a problem. And it looks like when I compare the two keys, looks like that is a way higher cut. This very last pin there is a way higher cut. So anyway, so there we have it. There is our famous master lock number 19. Opened up so we could see what's inside, and I ruined my shim. Look at that poor shim. Okay, let's real quick, let's scoot that aside. And I doubt there's really anything wrong with what's in here or not. I have to be careful because I don't want to get these plates out of order. So if you want to stick around to watch this part, thank you, but if you don't want to, that's fine. Is there something? What the heck? I got something on my arm. Maybe there's... Okay, let's get this opened up real quick so we can see what's inside. I've got just this regular wire there to hold everything in place. Yeah, there's all the rivets that I've taken out. Okay, and there's that famous looking red bumper. Sounds like the dogs are going crazy. Always towards the end of my videos, right? Dogs go crazy because somebody comes home. I think we can get this before 30 minutes is up. Okay, so obviously it's really dirty. And there's a lot of... Wow. You can see that on my finger. That's a lot of brass, so that's probably from, you can see all that shit, that's probably from all the picking that's been done on it. Spring looks okay, that shackle spring. Wow, that's pretty dirty. Okay, so we've got to keep these in order. There's the shackle, okay. There's that. Okay, then here is where got to be careful because there's the little springs that are in there. Where'd my... Okay, there they are. There's the one spring. And there's the lug. Okay, so the other spring is on the other side. Oh. Oh, wow. That spring is broken. There's the other lug. Did you see that? So here's a little surprise. So obviously this is what the springs look like behind those locking lugs. And this is the other one. It is broken. So that's definitely an issue with the lock. We'll have to get that fixed up and looking good for you, Jay. We'll do that. I happen to have another spring that I can put in there to make it good. So there we have it. I think that's enough for this video today. And I do have my little Master Lock number 3 out here for you guys to compare. Forgot to get it out, but obviously we've seen the comparison with the Master Lock number 3s and these 19s. So there we have it, a really good look at the gutting of these two 19s, especially this famous one. And of course my focus has to be crazy again. So there we have it. Thank you everybody for watching. Make sure that you are subscribed and make sure you leave a like. Thank you very much everybody for watching, and have a wonderful day. And I'm going to be heading out to the shop because this is going to be a cutaway soon. So look forward to that. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Have a wonderful day.